top tips 10 top tips to becoming a better communicator. Listen. In in a conversation, try to listen more than you speak. You can learn a lot about a person or situation. This way, encourage people to talk to you and acknowledge what they say. Use silence. Often this can communicate a message better than words. Leave a gap in conversation. What the other person says to feel this can often tell you a lot. Check your body language. Try to maintain a relaxed, open stance and friendly demeanor. Appearing defensive or closed can prevent an effective communication or deter others from engaging in productive dialogue. Clarity. Be clear and concise in what you say or write. Avoid using unnecessary words and get to the point quickly where possible. Timing. Don't ask an important question first thing on a Monday morning or at 5 minutes to close on a Friday afternoon. Ask when your recipient has time to consider your communication. If they don't, ask when would be a good time to communicate. Don't hide behind emails. Use the phone and speak to your negotiating counterparts or clients rather than sending a bland email. You are often able to explore alternative opportunities or other ways to overcome challenges. It is often also a lot quicker to reach a resolution or agree on a course of action. Okay, so that's so true. Sometimes you will not get an answer on emails, and you're sitting next to the person or the person's upstairs, in the office. So you can make a phone call or you can go up to them and speak to them. So the power of speech is so important. Sometimes these emails, they just come across very cold. Some emails come across quite cold, and I remember not liking somebody that I've never met just because of emails. But when I met them in person, they turned out to be such a lovely individual. Feedback. Adapt your language and communication to, to the feedback you receive. Maybe it would be better to meet your recipient in person or to follow up your conversation with an email. Or maybe you need to clarify what you said to prevent misunderstanding. Yep, that's true. That's good. Ask open-ended questions to learn more about your recipient. Ask open-ended questions to learn more about your recipient and enable you to communicate more effectively. Remember to say that other person's name. It is one of the most emotionally powerful words to each of us. You don't need to say it often, but you do need to consider how you say it. We suggest sincerely and positively. Yeah, that's true. If you read How to Win Friends and Influence People, they speak a lot about that. And to be honest, I think that's a great book to read as a surveyor. Most, property and building survey is more of a people business than a property business. So being able to communicate with people is so important. It's a key thing to get things done. Sharing knowledge, not of a lot of information, as I said earlier. They're not in books. They're not even online. They're not on YouTube. They're actually with people. There's people who actually know this information. So to be able to communicate with them is so important. Learn from your mistakes. If a communication does not go well, ask for feedback and analyze what went wrong. How could you do it better next time? You could ask trusted colleagues, family or friends for feedback on your communication style and impact. Another key communication skill is emotional intelligence. This is a surveyor's ability to monitor their emotions, to differentiate emotions and to label them appropriately. Emotional intelligence can be used to guide thinking, behavior, and communication. This is an area that you may be interested in undertaking further training. In relations to your RICS APC submission, make sure you proofread your written work carefully, asking a non-surveyor in a great way to do this. They will often identify issues that the surveyor does not, and they can also check if the overall story or examples and submission make sense. Another great tip is to use the spelling and grammar check function on Word or more comprehensive tool such as Grammarly. Yeah, that's something I need to do. I've heard about Grammarly, but I've never used it. I'm not sure how to use it either. Here are some top tips for ensuring you use appropriate grammar in your work. Long sentences. It can be really difficult to read a submission where extremely long sentences are used. Try to keep sentences short and to the point, breaking them up at a natural point. For example, the two preceding sentences could have been written as long sentences. It can be really difficult to read a submission where extremely long sentences are used. So try to keep sentences short and to the point and break them up at a natural point. This feels a little clumsy and it's harder to follow. Use of contractions. The RICS APC submission is a formal piece of work. We recommend avoiding contractions such as don't or can't. Instead, use the full do not or cannot. It might be tempting to use these to save words, but it reduces the overall professionalism and formality of your written work. Oh, thank you for that. I didn't realise that. Use of US rather than UK English. If you are a UK candidate, always use UK English. If you are submitting in the UK, so use S instead of Z, for example. Formalize instead of formalize. There are also some specific spelling to be aware of. Example, meter in the US and meter in the UK. Always check that the spell check function on your word processing software is set to English UK to help avoid these errors. Okay. Use of apostrophes. We often see apostrophes for regular and plural words being used incorrectly. If you are talking about something that a client owns, then you need to use the singular and client's property. If you are talking more generally about meetings, the needs of multiple clients, then you would use client's needs. Tense in the RICS APC submission. Ensure you use the first person and the past tense. This means that you will be talking about what you did, not what someone else is doing. What your firm might do, for example, I dealt with a rent review in Bristol. I inspected, measured and analysed the subject lease rather than we dealt with a rent review in Bristol. We would inspect, measure and analyse the subject lease. You need to clearly explain in your submission that you did what you did, not what others did. In real life examples which will have happened in the past. Being too verbose, look that up. Okay, I think I can. So English, why would it be English UK? Verbose. Okay, so okay, using or expressed in more words than are needed. Okay, so that was
Verbose.